In many tourist destinations, $1 disappears almost instantly. A bottle of water, half a taxi ride, maybe nothing at all. But in Fiji, scattered across the South Pacific like tiny green islands in endless blue water, $1 can still open a surprisingly large window into everyday life. And the most interesting part isn't what it buys. It's what it reveals. In Fiji, mornings rarely begin in silence. There's the sound of waves pushing against fishing boats, the chatter of open-air markets before sunrise, old buses rattling down narrow coastal roads with reggae music leaking through open windows. Bright tropical fruit sits under handwritten signs. Small roadside stalls sell coconuts, cassava, and fried snacks wrapped in paper. And everywhere, life seems to move at a slower rhythm than most of the modern world. Right now, $1 is worth roughly a little over 2 Fijian dollars. That may not sound like much. But here, even a small amount of money can still stretch surprisingly far. One of the first things a dollar can buy in Fiji is something simple. A piece of hot roti from a roadside stand. Soft, slightly smoky from the grill, sometimes filled with curried vegetables or tuna, it's the kind of food many people grab on their way to work every morning. And then there's cassava. Boiled, fried, or roasted over charcoal, cassava is more than just food in Fiji. It's part of daily life, heavy, filling, affordable, and deeply tied to the islands long before modern supermarkets arrived. Near local markets, $1 can still buy fresh tropical fruit. Small bananas, slices of pineapple, or a bag of guava with chili salt sprinkled on top. The air smells like sea salt, diesel from fishing boats, and sweet overripe mangoes warming under the sun. And sometimes, for less than $1, you'll still find cups of kava being shared among friends sitting in circles late into the evening. Not in luxury resorts, but in ordinary neighborhoods where conversations move slowly and nobody seems in a hurry to leave. But the most unforgettable thing about Fiji might be kava itself. A muddy-looking drink made from the root of a pepper plant. At first glance, it barely looks appealing. But in Fiji, kava is not just a drink. It's a ritual. Across villages and towns, people gather around a large wooden bowl called a tanoa. The drink is mixed by hand, passed carefully from person to person, and shared in complete equality. No one drinks before everyone is served. That matters. Because kava represents something much larger about Fiji. Community comes before individuality. Even today, long after smartphones and tourism reshaped the islands, these nightly gatherings still survive. And often participating costs less than a single dollar. Fiji's economy moves through thousands of tiny daily exchanges. Small family-owned shops sit beside the road, selling canned fish, instant noodles, phone credit, and cigarettes individually instead of by the pack. Local buses often run with open windows instead of air conditioning. Some don't even use printed schedules. People simply know when they'll arrive. In many places, cash still dominates everyday life. But at the same time, mobile payments and QR codes are quietly appearing beside handmade signs and wooden fruit stands. Tourism powers much of Fiji's economy. Luxury resorts attract visitors from Australia, New Zealand, and the United States. But outside those postcard beaches, everyday Fiji operates through fishing, farming, street markets, and generations of small businesses holding communities together. And somehow, despite the growing influence of modern tourism, many parts of island life still feel deeply local. Of course, that doesn't mean life in Fiji is easy. Imported goods are expensive. Fuel prices continue to rise. And many young Fijians move abroad searching for higher wages and more opportunities. For tourists carrying foreign currency, Fiji can feel affordable. But local incomes often tell a very different story, especially as tourism and global inflation slowly push prices higher across the islands. Still, when you look at the smaller details of everyday life, you begin to understand why community matters so much here. In the end, maybe the most memorable part of $1 in Fiji isn't the food or the prices. It's the image of people sitting together around a bowl of kava late at night, with no rush to finish the conversation. Because sometimes, the value of money changes depending on where you are. And sometimes, the richest parts of a country were never really about money in the first place. So if you had exactly $1 in Fiji, would you spend it on roti, tropical fruit, or a cup of kava? And which country should be next?